Well, I don't care what you say, Fosh. A world where heads don't explode is not a world worth living in. Hey, everybody. Welcome to Gintama episode 273. When compared to time in the heavens, 50 years of human life remembers naught but dreams and lottery tickets. I'm Sam Sora, and I'm here with Fosh. How you doing?
Hey, what's up, guys? That's pretty good.
Thank you, thank you. I practiced that all of 10 minutes ago.
Very good.
Aw, man. This episode of Gintama is probably my favorite of the season so far, solely on the strength of their mohawks. So let's just get right into this, okay?
All right.
All right, I'll start with my top 3 moments. Dreams of mayonnaise. And I mean, if you've watched this show, you know Hijikata, he's a mayo freak. He's been that way since the dawn of time, and it's the kind of thing that makes Gintama special a bit, is like, these are quirks that we've been experiencing for so long, so it's like, it's not weird that Hijikata's like, oh yeah, what should I do with the $300 million? I'll invest in mayonnaise, because mayonnaise never goes bad unless it goes bad literally. But it's kind of like, we've experienced Hijikata's love for mayonnaise over hundreds of episodes, so we know, yeah, what's the logical thing to do when you have 300 million? It's of course to go straight to the mayonnaise. And that just really made me chuckle.
Right, yeah, he definitely has I would say maybe an addiction to mayonnaise more than anything. It's either mayonnaise or cigarettes, one of the two. It's like his biggest addiction.
Oh, I like that shot where he just stuffs an entire pack of cigarettes in his mouth. He's like, oh no, I'm out of cigarettes. I better go get some more. Runs away from Kondo and Okita.
Right, yeah.
Why don't you go into your number 3?
Mine would be the lottery ticket itself and him winning the 300 million. The episode starts with him at what's kind of like convenience store, just chatting some old woman, and she just gives him a ticket like you either live a little, you're a cop and all. It's like you're kind of need to experience more than just that. So he just takes it like no big deal. And like you said, when he gets back to where the headquarters, he overhears them talking about the winning ticket, and his number pops up, and he just freaks out. Like you said, he does the cigarette thing because he wants to leave because he doesn't want no one stealing his ticket, and he gets a little paranoid, which would lead him to one of yours. But it's just funny to watch him kind of just freak out. I think out of any character in the series, his freakouts are probably one of the most hilarious things to watch because he's always so super serious all the time, and when you see him just break character and he just starts freaking out and panicking, it's pretty funny. It's like his character on One Piece, as Zoro, is the same thing. He's very serious, but when something happens, he does flip out. And wait, what were you gonna say?
I was just gonna say, I think one of my other favorite things was when he cuts his hair. He's like, "What V-shaped bang? I don't see any V-shaped bang. There's no V." It's because Okito's like, "Yeah, that your lottery ticket was something as close as Hijikata's hair." It's like, "What hair? I don't have any hair. I just shaved my head. You can't." What do you mean $300 million? I don't know any $300 million. Runs away.
Right, yeah. The whole time he's trying to play it off is like, I don't know what you're talking about, and then until he runs into Gintoki, and that's a whole new thing there with him.
Yeah, and also like when he's before he like hears that he's win, he's like, bah, someone who needs to invest in a scrap of paper. They don't. That's not a dream. That's not a samurai's dream. And then Kondo's like, I figured I'd try buying into a dream. What's the worst that could happen? Maybe I'll win. And it's just like, man, the lottery ticket, it really does screw people over whether you win or lose.
Yeah, and he was about to rip it in half, but he stopped as soon as he heard the number. So I was like, even someone like him can stop and like, well, I could use 300 million. I mean, that's not bad, but.
Oh yeah, quick current events story. Did you hear about this? It's a fairly local story, I guess, for me in New York. But apparently there is a woman who won the lottery for like $1 million, and then her daughter stole her lottery ticket.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's like the mother is now suing the daughter. It's really crazy.
Right, yeah, I mean, that just shows you money, If money comes in,
no problems.
Exactly, money goes in there, it's just, you're not going to have anything. But what was your number 2?
My number 2 was Sakura Gintoki, Criminal Mastermind. Because, and you'll talk about this too a little bit, but like, he really takes the lead in committing these crimes. He's like, come on, guys, you're screwing this up. He's clearly a police officer, so you should take him hostage. Why are you screwing around? And then he's like, don't worry, I didn't let the money get away because I have the 300 million. And it's just like, I mean, we all know Gintoki, he's not exactly the most morally upstanding person around. I mean, he cares about his friends, but he's still, like, not exactly a great example of a human being.
Hmm.
So just, like, seeing him become the criminal mastermind and, like, the guy's like, come on, Anaki, we'll do this for you, we'll see you in jail, Anaki.
Yeah, they're like,
It's just like,
yeah,
man, if I was running a mob outfit, I kind of would, and I kind of wouldn't want Gintoki to be working with me.
right. Yeah, he kind of got recruited just by being in the same area. So it's just kind of like, well, now you're part of this. But yeah, my number two would be Gintoki and Hijikata just being this funny comedic duo. They're just obviously doing the whole straight man thing again, where Gintoki's just basically trying to troll him so hard, and just he mentions about 300 million. He doesn't realize that he actually has the ticket, and
Mm-hmm.
the other guy freaks out and just starts attacking each other, and he's like, okay, let's just go to the bank, and that's when they get all the criminals are there, and like you said, Gintoki kind of tells him you're doing it all wrong, and kind of
Mm-hmm.
somehow gets recruited by them, not intentionally,
Mm-hmm.
but just kind of has to run with them for a bit. Even Hijikata kind of gets pulled in all that because he's the hostage, but both of them end up helping like the criminals without even realizing it. I just thought that
Yeah.
was just funny watching those two just get together, because when they're together, they've had several moments in the series of them just kind of goofing off each other. One's trying to be serious, the other one's doing something else. So it's fun to watch that again.
I liked how when he first runs into him, like, Gintoki's just like, I don't know what this guy's on. Is he crazy or what? And he's like, he's kind of calm. He's like, yo, man, what's wrong? Why are you running around about to assault people? That's not cool. You're a police officer, man. Then, like,
Right.
when he realizes, oh, wait a second. He said 300 million and he went crazy. Maybe he has 300 million. And then he's like, then you get that sadistic switch flipped in Gintoki's head, and he's like, all right, now what can I do to screw over Hijikata so I can get the money?
Right, because he
Oh,
was
I
trying.
know. I'll
Yeah.
offer him as a hostage to this band
Hmm.
of Mohawk thugs.
Yeah, and in the beginning, he was also saying something about that was his ticket. He was supposed to go by and get it. The old woman gave it to the wrong person. And
Oh yeah,
Hijikata's just like, no, that's not yours. You're lying. Like, so both of them are just kind of at each other the whole entire time for the most part. The first half, I should say.
yeah. No, it was totally Gintoki's ticket, and it's like, and that just made it all the sweeter because it's like, if it was anyone else, maybe Hijikata would have been like, oh, I'll give you some of the money back. But it's like,
Hmm.
because it's Gintoki, he's like, he's gonna hold on to that for dear life,
Yeah, pretty much.
which is another thing that just makes it sweeter based on like how their long-standing frenemy relationship status.
Hmm.
All right, and then for my number one, it could only be this: Mohawks here, Mohawks there. Mohawks are sprouting up everywhere, and this was a perfect Fist of the North Star parody episode right here. And I'm just gonna say this: Fist of the North Star is probably one of like the top 5 best things that have ever come out of Shonen Jump, and that is including things like Gintama and JoJo's Bizarre Adventure for me. Because like you suddenly see the world turn into the post-apocalypse, and then they play the song part of You Wa Shock, the great one of the greatest anime songs of all times. Hijikata gets to say the line that every Fist of the North Star fan longs to hear at the end of an episode. Omae wa mo shinderu. You're already dead, when Kenshiro's about to blow somebody up.
Hmm.
And then, of course, just seeing all those Mohawk thugs is really just ridiculous, because like there are people trying to give him flyers, and there are people who are trying to just like, hey man, what's wrong? And they're suddenly sprouting mohawks and have daggers and are wearing leather fetish outfits, and it's just like, man, that's exactly why I love Fists of the North Star, and it's an amazing manga.
Yeah, you can definitely tell that the creator and just he likes a lot of different series. He always
Mm-hmm.
references, Dragon Ball or Fist of North
Mm-hmm.
Star, because it just shows his love for the series. He probably watched those and was probably inspired
Mm-hmm.
to make Gintama after all that. So that's why I look at it. It's more like a love letter to those shows. And he's like, oh, I want to make fun of it, but actually, I'm actually paying tribute to it at the same time.
Yeah.
But remember,
Well,
they did the same
Gintama.
thing in the movie with the Mohawk guys popping up too, and they're on
Mhm.
motorcycles and stuff. And
I
they're in
remember.
there too.
I remember in the movie Okita, he turned into Rurouni Kenshin, which was
Hmm.
pretty funny.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, that's again one of the greatest strengths of Gintama is just like how far they will go to parody something that most people don't care about, or most
Right.
people. Let me rephrase that. Most American people won't even get in the first place.
That's true.
So it's like, I mean, how many fans now? How many people nowadays are fans of Fist of the North Star? Hopefully millions, but I'm afraid they all died in the post-apocalypse of 1990X. How many people here knew the two gay actors that Hijikata made a reference to? It's like, I didn't, and I even looked them up. It's like, they're famous guys.
Right.
There's always they love making jokes about Shinpachi and like Matsudaira Ken, who's like a famous stand-up comedian. It's like, I mean, I guess he's funny. I don't know. I can't understand what he says, and I've never seen his act before.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, it's just like, this was just one amazing reference in a sea of pretty awesome references. But it's like, it touched me because deep in my heart, there's a evil monster waiting to be exploded by Kenshiro, and this was just an amazing reference for me.
Right, yep, I can see that.
So go on with your last one,
Yeah,
Fosh.
my number one is just them helping the criminals, like I said before. They're not really intentionally helping them, but they kind of get roped into their scheme because they're just along for the ride, basically. They can't really get away, but they're kind of stuck with them. And they even go as far as like I like when Hichikari kind of jumped at the police car to stop them from chasing them. And they're like, lotto ticket. And he's like, what, did you say something about lotto ticket? They're like, no. So just seeing how far he would go to protect the money. But at the end, him ripping it all up, and then, like you said, Gintoki's just like, well, that's fine, but I sold 300 million. was very funny. And like
you're also missing the part where Gintoki like robbed the bank on his own. He's like, come on, I got something in my pocket. It's like, it's worth. Could you give me 300 yen or 300 million yen? I got something in my pocket for you.
Yeah, she thought it was a gun.
And it's like, the screen. It's like, woohoo! You're a genius, boss. It's like, yeah, he's a real criminal mastermind. Wink, wink.
Right. And then they end with him. You know, the cops finally catch him, and it's like, well, how are you gonna pay for all this? After the 300 million caught fire, because some idiot with a rocket launcher, trigger happy, he just blew him up, and they're both just like, well, guess you gotta play the lotto again. And they walk off with their big afros. So
yeah, I like the part also where it's like, I mean, we can write this off as an undercover investigation, but I'm not taking responsibility for incinerating $300 million.
Right, so how you gonna pay it back?
I mean, it's okay. I wouldn't expect anything less than that from him.
Right, yeah, I agree.
And it's just, again, like, Gintoki, he's like, come on, guys, get your game together. Use Hijikata as a hostage, let everyone else go free. I'll just take this slip of paper that you don't have to pay attention to and be on my merry way. And it's like, no, my grandma, my dead grandma, she's the one with the $300 million. I'll just get it from the bank. Yeah, that's what I'll do.
Right.
Like,
and then you got the final end with the criminals being arrested, and they're just waving at them too, like, we'll see you later. You know, they're then inspired by Gintoki and Hichikata, which is kind of bad but kind of good, I guess. But yeah, it was pretty funny. I like that.
What can be said about this episode? It was basically funny the entire time. Like, there's not a single joke that missed. And it's like, Gintama has a very high joke per second hit rate. But, like, this was higher than average, I would say.
Right. And again, I think it's just two good voice actors just playing off each other. You can tell they probably had a good time. Even recording the episode, probably just goofing off each other.
Yeah. So, do we have anything else we want to say?
Nothing really. I mean, I'm waiting for the next episode.
Alright, so before I leave, I gotta give my quote of the show. And it could only be this, because you're talking to me. Oh no! I've run into Rao! Ah!
Thanks.
And on that note, let's get out of here.
See you later.